CBS 2 News starts now.
$200,000 Idahoans are traveling more than 50 miles from home this weekend, and they aren't alone. Nadia Romero has more on the travel boom across the country.
Oh man, it feels great.
Minneapolis traveler Ricardo Walters says he's fully vaccinated and making his first trip since the pandemic began.
No concerns at all. I had some friends that traveled a couple of weeks ago, and they said, hey, Rick, you know, it's okay to get out and go, and I sure jumped on it.
It's what AAA is calling revenge travel.
People were able to save a lot of money because they weren't traveling to work last year, and so they're going to places, they're staying longer and doing more things and spending more money.
While the pandemic isn't over, the numbers in the U.S. look promising, with half of American adults fully vaccinated. President Joe Biden traveling to Virginia to tout progress against COVID-19. Nationwide, CDC data shows 10 states reached the Biden administration's goal of vaccinating at least 70% of adults with at least one dose.
So many joys of life, large and small, have been halted by a long, dark winter. And today, we've gone from 184 cases per day nationwide to fewer than 22,000 cases per day. Deaths have dropped by over 85%.
The president preaching cautious optimism as many states lift mask mandates and some restaurants and beaches back to full capacity, with Americans eager to enjoy a normal holiday weekend.
But let me be clear, we're not done yet. We have to reach those who are not vaccinated and make it as easy as possible for them to get protected.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
And there's been an increase in travel this weekend. This is what it looked like waiting around for security around 6:30 Friday morning when our Krista McPeak was there. Crowds are expected to ebb and flow throughout the weekend, and the airport reminds passengers to arrive 2 hours early for their flights. And gas prices are up more than $1 compared to a year ago. AAA says a gallon of regular unleaded is going for $3.04 a gallon. That's compared to $1.96 this time last year. Ada and Canyon counties are even higher than the statewide average. Here, we're paying an average of $3.37 a gallon. Well, picture perfect conditions today across the region. This is a look at the Boise airport, where travel is surging today and the sunshine isn't expected to quit. CBS 2's Ariana Piper is here to fill you in with your Memorial Day weekend forecast.
Hi, Sarah. Let's start out weather by looking at this beautiful view of Schaefer's Butte. And as you can see, blue skies and just great, nice weather today overall. All right, so now we're going to take a look at our temperatures right now. So Boise is 75 degrees and Nampa hasn't been updated just quite yet, but Ontario is 81 degrees, Mountain Home 76, and McCall 66. So great temperatures all around. A little chilly in McCall, but that's kind of what we can expect for this time of year. Okay, let's look at our satellites and radar. And as you can see, Boise is pretty clear. We have a little bit of moisture down here in the south of us, but we don't see really any rain coming through Boise. It's just going to be nice and sunny. That's what we can expect. Let's take a look at our patio forecast. By 6 p.m. it should be 73 degrees, warm and sunny. 8 p.m. 69 degrees, maybe a little bit of cloud cover, but otherwise still really warm. By 10 p.m. 61 degrees, and it should be clear. So it's a great time to go sit outside with your family and enjoy this weather. And let's see here at tomorrow's forecast. I mean, come on, great weather, sunny, 80 degrees all around, and you could find your full weather forecast at idahonews.com.
Thank you, Ariana. Well, job searches, they're going up in states that chose to cut back the expanded federal unemployment benefits. That's according to job finding website Indeed. It says the share of clicks on job postings was nearly 5% higher on the day each state announced it was ending the program. That's relative to the last 2 weeks of April. Conservatives say the added benefit was encouraging people to stay home and not work. Democrats say the extra funds are necessary for families still struggling. So far, the 24 states have announced plans to end the benefits before the September deadline. Well, there's been a lot of drama at the State House this week. While the governor was out of state on business, the lieutenant governor issued an executive order. The governor didn't waste time yesterday putting things back in place after his return to Boise, and CBS 2's Scott Logan explains what took place.
Governor Brad Little came out swinging today, repealing the ban on mask mandates signed by Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeachin while Little was in Nashville at a governor's conference. In a news release, the governor called McGeachin's actions an abuse of power, an irresponsible, self-serving political stunt. Little, who has never issued a statewide mask mandate, also said McGeachin's actions while he was gone this week are not gubernatorial. The order signed by McGeachin, who is running for governor, banned mask requirements by Idaho local governments, state agencies, or schools. The governor's repeal of the order restores the status quo. McGeachin also pulled no punches in her response to Little. In a statement on Twitter, the lieutenant governor said, "It is your God-given right to make your own health decisions, and no state, city, or school district ever has the authority to violate your unalienable rights." I went to the lieutenant governor's office to try and talk to McGeachin in person, but nobody answered when I knocked on the door. McGeachin's order also appears to violate a law passed this session by the legislature. House Bill 392 specifically forbids a governor from changing any state laws during disaster emergencies such as the pandemic. The Idaho Constitution grants authority for the lieutenant governor to be acting governor when the governor is out of state. The Republican primary election is a long way away, a year from now, and it begs the question, will this all happen again in whatever context when the governor has to leave the state again? At the State House, Scott Logan, CBS 2 News.
After some confusion following the lieutenant governor's order last week, West Ada schools say things will be going back to normal on Tuesday. Students, staff, and visitors are required to wear face masks through the remainder of the school year. Well, as the nation recovers from the COVID pandemic, many people who were on the healthcare front lines continue to feel overwhelmed and burnt out after witnessing horrors of the virus firsthand. Now there's concern that that could lead to growing shortages in the healthcare industry. Scott Thuman explains why from Washington.
After more than a year on the front lines during the pandemic, some healthcare workers are still in a state of distress, and it's showing in numbers.
I would say the vast majority of our healthcare workforce is exhausted.
A recent Washington Post Kaiser Family Foundation poll found that 55% of healthcare workers feel burnt out, and nearly a third are weighing whether to leave their profession. Some say those feelings, especially for America's 4 million nurses, are being driven by a number of factors.
That has to do with schedules, it has to do with the workload, it has to do with ratios, and it also has to do with the opportunity to be heard to solve the inefficiencies in the systems that are plaguing healthcare.
And while nurse shortage concerns began before the pandemic, the impact on healthcare has become a serious issue, especially as aging baby boomers begin requiring more care.
The trauma and PTSD is going to really start to build up. And I really worry that we're going to come up on a big deflation of the profession.
As nurses and other healthcare professionals leave the industry or switch to different areas of practice, a large number are also coming up on retirement. Right now, 50% of the nursing workforce is over the age of 50, which means positions will soon need to be filled, and fast.
And I am petrified that in the future, there isn't going to be enough nurses by the bedside to care for patients.
But there's another reason for a lack of nurses. The American Association of Colleges of Nursing reports that in 2019, nursing schools turned away more than 80,000 qualified applicants due to faculty shortages, among other things, something that has caught the attention of Congress.
When the salaries of nurses start to go past what nurse educators can make, then a lot of educators leave the profession to become nurses, and then you end up choking down the supply chain.
Senator Kane suggests offering incentives like loan forgiveness may help attract more educators into nursing instruction, but more reform across the board may be what's needed. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Coming up on CBS 2 News, Boise Farmers Market. Welcome back in-person shopping. A look at the crowd and what you need to know before you go.
CBS 2 News.
Happening today, the Boise Farmers Market opened for in-person shopping for the first time this year. A good look at the crowd right there. The market's at 1500 Shoreline Drive, and we spoke to a few about what it means to be back.
We're so excited to be back on the lot. You know, we've done the drive-through last year, but it's really great to see our customers' faces and to be able to interact.
Look at this action. We've been, in isolation for a year and a half. This is great to get back out here with the people.
I actually just moved down to Boise. I used to be up in Moscow, and I would go visit their farmers market all the time. So it's my first time at the Boise market, but I'm glad that it's here.
The drive-through market is still an option, and organizers say there's plenty of room for social distancing. Masks are required, but a great crowd out there today.
Beat the Heat forecast is sponsored by Idaho Lottery.
All right, let's take a look at the Beat the Heat today in Boise. So we have a high of 75 and a low of 46. And what we normally see this time of year on this day is a high of 76 and a low of 51. But get this, we had a high of 100 degrees back in 1897, and our record low was 32 degrees in 1976. So definitely a lot different than what we're experiencing now. But we'll see if we get to those higher temperatures in the next week. All right, so we have the holiday countdown over here. Memorial Day is just 2 days away. Summer is 22 days away, if you can believe it. It's just come up all of a sudden. Same with the 4th of July, 36 days away. So we're hoping for that good weather moving into the summer. All right, so let's see what we can expect within the next few days. We have a beautiful holiday weekend that you can look forward to. It's going to be even warmer than that on Monday and even toastier as we go into the next week. So we could see some near record high temps. Just be looking out for that. All right, so let's see how our temperature is trending for the next few days. So we start with 83 degrees, and as we're moving up, we're going up into the high 90s. On Thursday, we're up in 98 degrees. So definitely getting a lot warmer than what we usually see here in May. It feels like we're in July already. So we'll just see if those temperatures keep changing. So again, with these upper level winds, we have a high weather pressure system moving in and bringing in a heat wave. So like I've been saying this whole time, Boise is going to get warm, so be prepared for that. Let's look at our extended forecast. Sunday is sunny, 83 degrees, 51 degrees. And then Memorial Day is beautiful, 86 degrees with a low of 56. And again, we have weather all the way through the 90s and the 80s this entire week. So nice, warm, and sunny that you can look forward to. So if you want to see our full weather forecast, make sure to head to idahonews.com.
Still to come on CBS 2 News, after a year unlike any other, school district leaders talk about overcoming challenges throughout the pandemic.
Is sponsored by CapEd Credit Union.
The 2021 school year is coming to an end, and school district leaders are reflecting on this past year and the challenges their districts have overcome. In this week's Leaders in Learning, I spoke with leaders in the West Ada and Boise school districts. This week, the Boise School District closed out the 2021 school year. Meanwhile, West Ada has another 2 weeks to go, but school leaders tell me they're now reflecting back on a year that was unlike any other.
We stayed true to our values about doing what's best for kids, and I think that in the long run will pay off.
The perseverance, the courage, if you will, of our students and our staff and our community, all of us working together to do great things when it comes to continuing to educate our students.
Both districts credit their teachers and staff for their flexibility and perseverance. When more than a year ago, the pandemic began and districts across the Gem State created online schools and moved to remote learning in a matter of days.
We're proud of our teachers and that they stepped up to say, this is hard, we don't know how to provide remote learning, this is something we haven't done before. A lot of them didn't have really a lot of notice to prepare, but they really stepped up and said, this is what's best for students, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to deliver it to my students because that's what's best and that's what I'm here to do.
While the Boise School District distributed 25,000 Chromebooks and 4,000 hotspots to its students, West Ada also worked to fill their students' remote learning needs, and both turned to local medical partners to ensure safety for their students and staff.
Our medical partners, Central District Health, St. Luke's, St. Al's, they continue to be with us every step of the way, even to this day. The mitigation steps that are effective, and we know they are, and continue to commit ourselves to those and adjust accordingly as we move forward.
And as the year comes to a close, both believe that flexible and remote learning are here to stay, and that they're thankful for their teachers, who they call true leaders in learning.
We can't do this alone, and although we know that people didn't always agree with our decisions, for the most part they were supportive and understood that there's just was never really a right answer to anything. We were all navigating this for the first time, and so we appreciate our community and our medical professionals supporting us.
For Leaders in Learning, I'm Sarah Jacobson. Well, put on your walking shoes and get ready for this year's Walk for Wishes event to benefit Make-A-Wish Idaho. Now, this year's walk will be on June 4th in person at Esther Simplot Park. Registration starts at 5:30 with the walk kicking off at 6 p.m. sharp. Now, this year's goal is to raise over $70,000, enough to grant 10 heartfelt wishes for Idaho children. One local organization is going for the GOAT, an experience you can't bleat, coming up next. You can't bleat. The Idaho Syringa Dairy Spring Classic Goat Show is happening this weekend. Now, if you didn't get a chance to check it out today, the show continues through tomorrow. For more information, head to our website, idahonews.com. Love that face right there. Well, CBS 2 News, it continues throughout the evening on idahonews.com, and we'll see you right back here tonight at 10 for local and breaking news and weather. Between now and then, have a great night, everybody.